I am Adefemi Makpadem, your regular host, welcoming you onto this week's edition of Insight on behalf of my colleague and co-presenter, the award-winning Anu Oluwapo Omorinde. Anu, welcome onto the program.
A very good morning to you, our viewers at home. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you are listening to us via the radio, a very good morning to you.
Thank you, Anu. On this program, Insight, we have been looking at the Nigerian nation, past and present, and we try to project into the future. But what does the future hold for this country? We have looked at the issue of restructuring and the calls by different groups, bodies, associations, and ethnic nationalities for the restructuring of this country. Virtually, let me say at least 90% of Nigerians agree that there must be a restructuring of the country. But there is a disagreement on the kind of restructuring that they have and that each group has in mind. To some, it is an amendment of the present 1999 Constitution, which is in use and which will devolve more powers to the states and remove some items from the exclusive list and put them on the concurrent list. To some, it should be a brand new constitution that will meet the aspirations of Nigerians. And to some others, it is that the different major ethnic nationalities should stand on their own, like Yoruba nation, and to some, it is a call for regionalism. That is, a return to the parliamentary system of government when each component state or region of the federation then had control of its resources and just sword a fraction of what they make to the central government. As the call for restructuring gathers momentum, another issue was recently introduced and thrown up, and that is the autonomy for local governments. And this has been just granted by the Supreme Court of Nigeria in its ruling in an action brought before it by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Lateef Fagbemi, SAN. It was decided that local governments must now be in control of their own resources and must receive their allocations directly from the federal government, and it must not be routed through the state government. That is, local government chairmen will now be solely responsible for the disbursement and utilization of funds sent to them from the federation account. Is this move a step towards restructuring? While some groups have applauded the federal government for this landmark victory, some others see bumpy roads ahead. Is this perhaps uhuru for local governments? And what do you think? Now local governments will be responsible for the payment of salaries of teachers in their respective local governments. And we know the stories of what happened in the past. Those stories are not encouraging. In the states where local development authorities, LCDAs, are, how will they get funding for their activities since they are not recognized by the Constitution? Will this financial autonomy not create a new set of emperors at the local government level? With this judgment, is the federal government not seeking to buy and gain the loyalty and allegiance of the council chairmen and shift them away from the state governments? After all, it is said that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. But people have said he who pays the piper not only dictates the tune now, he tells you what kind of dance you must dance and the kind of music you must listen to. And so, this morning on Insight, we are trying to look at local government autonomy and its impact on restructuring. By and large, is the Bola Tinubu administration making moves in the direction of restructuring through the back door? This is the motion, this is the issue on Insight this morning. Local government autonomy and restructuring. Anu?
Thank you so much, Femi. So we have our regular guests on the program this morning. Dikino Abiola Dejo is here. Thank you so much once again for joining us.
Thank you.
And Mr. Lalo Abuguloko is here. A very good welcome to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with you. For some time, we've been talking about the fact that we must restructure this country. You have severally advocated for the restructuring of the polity. Now, some persons would see the Supreme Court judgment last Thursday as a move to restructure this country. Unfortunately, the two factions of Afenifere are not in tandem with the Supreme Court judgment.
Views.
They are expressing opposing views, and this is the region that has been at the forefront of the agitation, for restructuring. The Payo Adebanjo faction would say that it's an infringement on federalism. But of course, the Paruben Fasonative faction believes that it's a right step in the right direction. Ohaneze and Afenifere are at loggerheads over this particular judgment. Are we one step closer to the much talked about restructuring?
Or are we one step going back?
Good morning, viewers at home. Good morning, our listeners. One of the most unfortunate things that can happen to this country is that Supreme Court judgment.
Why?
Thank you. Let's look at the beginning. Even the Constitution, as faulty as we've claimed it is. I'm not a lawyer, so let's establish that. But the Constitution as it is, Section 2 of that Constitution established the fact that we are a federal republic. Section 2 established that Nigeria is a federation of federal and state government. Okay, Section 7 of the same Constitution talk about local government. That section places responsibility over financial management of the local government on the state government. I've not seen any part of that Constitution that says that federal government has a right. And it was because of that that Tinubu himself, the present president, went to court against the federal government. And he won. Section 162, 163 of the same Constitution is clear as to how revenue should be shared. Like I said, it's one of the most unfortunate things. It's an aberration. What just happened? Let's go back to history. And that's why I said it's most unfortunate. 1948, University of London came to Nigeria to establish University of Ibadan. 1962, regional governments created University of Ife, ABU, and Nsukka.
Yes.
University of Ife by Western Region, ABU by Northern Region, Nsukka by Eastern Region. Government of Obasanjo 1978 came up to take over
all these universities.
The
state, the regional.
Essentially, because they want standard and uniform education. I don't think any of us here will be proud of what our education has turned out to be. We know what education was during that time. Healthy competition, Western region established its own, Northern region established its own, Eastern region established its own. What's happening today? The University of Ibadan, that was attracting students from almost all over the world that time, attracting lecturers from almost all over the world that time. What's the standard today in world ranking? That's number one. 1966, Aguiyi-Ironsi promulgated the Unification Decree.
1966.
Right? he went ahead to institute what they call Gobri panel for policing reform. The report of that panel was handed over to Gowon. What did he say? You should cancel regional and local police, centralized policing system. But since they centralized the policing system, you and I know what's happening to our security. Before 1978, when Obasanjo took our land and mineral resources to the center, is the Obas and the community that own their land.
That was the land use decree.
But now, what happened? They took everything to Abuja, and now the mineral resources in your area, you have no control over it. Gentlemen, what we have just seen is another annexation of another tier of government, which ordinarily was not even recognized by the Constitution. Right? I know the reason why they did this. Very laudable. Governors have become another thing over local government funds. Yes. There is no doubt about that. But must you cut the nose to spite the face?
Okay, Mr. Aboguloko. People are saying that with this judgment, it seems that state governments are no longer relevant. That they should just, and we should just have two tiers of government, federal and local government.
I'm afraid it may not be that easy, because I'm not sure federal government is going to establish a liaison office in all the local governments. And as it is now, it means the local government chairman or their supervisory for finance or their accountants will always go to Abuja whenever they want to go and take their allocation. My feeling about all the whole thing is that we are just like my colleague here said, you are spiting the using the cutting the nose to spite the face. Yoruba will say orififo, oribibe, ologun orififo. You see, this autonomy we are talking about, sometimes ago, some weeks back, I just sat down and tried to review the tax system of the United States. Why are they so passionate about enforcing their tax laws? Taxing is the mainstay of their economy. If you discover gold on your land, nobody is going to contest it with you. Mine the gold. Remove the cost of mining. Then pay tax to
the federal government now wants to take that away from.
No, what we are saying is this. If you want to give local government autonomy, yes, give them their resources now. If they have their resources, they can use the money to develop. But you are the one doling money from Abuja to them. It's an aberration. It's not right. That is why we are saying, if you want to restructure, some people are saying, let's give the state police. If you hand state police to the, you hand it over to the state governors, they will abuse it because they themselves, they are KBAC. We cannot go on with this piecemeal whatever. The so-called autonomy, I don't see how it will work out. You cannot the countenance the participation of state governors in local government affairs anyway, because the lands belongs to state governors. Whatever they want to do, you have to seek approval from the state governors. So the federal government is not going to come from Abuja to come and if there is any dispute within two local governments and all this local something, you cannot remove the hand of the state governors from the affairs of local government. But I think what the judgment is saying is, let them use their money the way they like. That's the main thrust of the judgment. Let them use their fund, but that is assuming that these local government chairmen are saints coming from Mars. So we are assuming that they will spend the money well. There are no checks and balances. Federal government will not come from Abuja to see the kind of project that will be beneficial to the local government. There are two local governments besides each other. They want to tar a road that is linking them. There is a bridge linking the two local governments. Is it the federal government that is going to come from Abuja to see whether the roads will be beneficial for the community? So you have Ministry of Local Government, you have Local Government Service Commission being controlled by the state. So are they going to establish another local government, autonomous local government service commission?
Speaking in the past, you've had this issue about state governors having become emperors, using the local government funds as it were. Now that the local government chairmen will be getting their monies directly, are we not creating another level of emperors?
You see, basically, I think we should understand one fact. The constitution that we are using today is creating gods of man. If we have the right type of constitution, creating emperors or whatever won't arise. And that's why I said you are cutting your nose to spite your face, thinking you want to liberate the local government, as it were, by removing the hand
of state
governors. Let's go to the extreme. Tinubu spent 1 million years, he must leave. If another person comes and say, in order to monitor what you are doing with money, there must be local government service commission at the federal level, and they now want to establish liaison offices.
In all the
Shagari established liaison offices in the states.
Days of MPN, yes.
I hope you've not forgotten. I don't know whether you know. So, I mean, we are the one financing you, and we've now discovered that you are not using the money well. So there will be federal
local
government service commission at the federal level. There will be federal accountant general for audit or whatever. Auditor general for local government at the federal level, because we need to monitor what you are doing. We need to be perspective. Let's draw this. I've just shown you people were clapping 1978 when they took over education. This thing will be standardized now. There will be uniformity. There will be whatever. Those were the languages.
Which is an aberration to the uniformity itself.
Right? Now, but what happened to your education as I'm talking? And I've just given you an example of security. What is happening to your security? You have a right to have a police officer to guide you as an individual. Some people do.
Yes.
But the state governor cannot call for security of an area because he needs to take permission from Abuja. Come on, why don't we want to look at what can be the repercussion of your decision? Suppose you are not there. You may mean well.
Dickie, you will recall that some weeks back on this program, I brought to the fore the request of the president, Bola Tinubu, when he met with Afenifere leaders. He requested for time. I have seen opinion molders, social commentators attributing this success, if it is one, to them, it's a success, to President Bola Tinubu. And so when he requested for more time, pledging his commitment to restructuring, and if this is coming, is this a distraction to you? Because documents have been submitted.
It's not a distraction. It's a destruction of federalism. They are destroying federalism. I normally we want us to look at things. We are not operating in a silo. There are other countries, even the ones that are unitary, the ones that are having federal structure, the ones that are monarchy. Let's start from the beginning place. The fund they are distributing, where is it from? 1771, when there was trouble in America, these 13 states declared their independence and whatever. Another 1780 something, they came together to say, okay, we want to now have a union. They created the central government. They are the one that came to say we are. How do you look at a situation that federal government is creating local government, is creating states? Who owns the land in the first instance? Can you define what does not belong to you? Let's look at this. Those that are benefiting today, go and meet, at least before his death, the people that put unitary system in place ended up regretting it.
That's Professor Wabweze.
Wabweze was lamenting that he never knew it would be like this. Anybody can make mistake. They may be sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. Right? Now, everybody that was part of, I wish you will find a way of interviewing Babatope, Ebenezer Babatope, when they were standard of education. I mean, I was a student that time. I read one of his articles. I can remember now. And some of us were clapping. Oh, there will be standard everywhere. Where is the standard today? The idea really is this: in Nigeria today, what has ever been taken over by Central that was not been destroyed? Just give me one. In your state, aliens are coming to mine your minerals. Most of what you call insecurity is not insecurity. It's battle over mineral and the land. These guys want to corner the mineral resources. They need to kill you to do it.
You must take your license from Abuja now.
And you have to take your license from Abuja. I mean, in my father's land. Now, local government will go to them. I've told you, I'm not a prophet, but I can guess. In the next 2-3 years, there will be a commission to monitor what is happening
in the local government.
In the local government. And I still wonder, the constitution that we are saying is bad enough. Supreme Court is doing this. Will they amend those sections that I've mentioned?
And I think that
do they have the right to alter the constitution?
That's the next thing, Mr. Bugunloko. Unfortunately, pronouncements of the apex court are laws. So this seems to have come to stay. What can be done?
The fait accompli. Nothing can be done.
But the Supreme Court can reverse itself. After all, Dickin is now mentioning certain aspects of the Constitution that are somewhat in opposition to what is happening. If the states are aggrieved enough, they can use that one and go to the Supreme Court again.
Another legal battle.
That's it. That's the function of the Supreme Court. Is any disagreement between the state and the federal government, or the legislature and the state, has to be settled by the Supreme Court. So they are human beings, aren't they? So they can make mistakes. It's not sacrosanct. If they make a mistake, they can correct themselves. It means the buck will stop at the Supreme Court table. And you see, if you make a law and the law is not working, how do you do? They will have to rethink. There are some loopholes, there are some gaps that are not filled yet. And if these gaps are filled, like you want to monitor the local government, it is not the state that doesn't have anything to say about distribution of fund that you say you should go and monitor the fund. So the federal government will want to monitor the fund. And in the first instance, this fund does not belong to federal government. The bulk of the resources are from the grassroots, from the states. So I would say, like Dickens said the other time, it is a negation of restructuring. It is one step forward, two steps backward. Because we are saying the resources of the grassroots of the states should be expended at the state. You only, like it's done in America, you only pay tax to the state and to the federal. It is not as if the federal government has any fund of its own. The land belongs to the local government and the state. The resources therein belongs to them. So why should you collect all the money and now start doling out to your wave right and do whatever you do with it?
So your interpretation is that rather than decentralizing, over centralization is taking place with this.
That is the fact. If this autonomy, the so-called autonomy they are talking about, that is freedom to use fund as much as you want, it is part of federalism. Your fund belongs to you. That is why in America their tax law is so strict. You can get 100% from your investment and pay 80% as tax. It is still tax. It is still the profit that you are taxing after you must remove your expenditure. So that is why the resources from the state should go from the local government, should go from local government to state, then to federal, and not the other way around. So and that is what we are doing now.
Okay, Dickens, sometime in the past, you recall this epic battle between Bola Tinubu and Olusegun Obasanjo, still on the funding of local government. Will you now say that Obasanjo is right after all in what he did then?
I wish I will have access to Tinubu to ask him why, if he believed in this, was he fighting and going to court?
Could some things have changed?
Okay, and that's why I say I need to ask. We need to know what changed. We need to know what informed this. He was a strong advocate of federal system. A very strong advocate of federal system. We need to ask, is this still part of federal system? Is this his thinking of what federal system should be? Like we've said, the Constitution, again, as we are talking, it just occurred to me, okay, this is an amendment, as it were, of the Constitution. What's the position of the National Assembly?
But don't forget that the National Assembly wanted to do this before, and the state governors overruled and state assemblies, and they just...
And you need to find a way.
That's why through the back door.
You need to find a way of going through the back door. What the people in the state,
was it
who are you governing? Excuse me. Let me say this. There is nothing called town without the people, without the land, and you will never get a word without towns or villages. You will never get a local government without wards. It builds like that. You will never get states without local government. There is nothing called federal government without states. That's what the Constitution says. It says it's a federation of the center and
the component states.
The component states. You are introducing a third tier. Nobody is saying you cannot do anything. You can amend whatever you want to amend, but please give the people the right to determine how they will be governed. You just said it now. They wanted to go through the National Assembly. It failed. Why? Because the governors elected by the people are saying no. There can be a way of ensuring that your constitution find something to do with the local government. Not that you come and now want to usurp such power. I give you an assurance in the next 10 years, you will find federal auditor general for local government. Because this needs to be audited. You will find somebody, a liaison officer. I mean, Shagari did it. Why? He wanted to monitor what the federal finance was being used for. And I remember Bola Ige saying they are lazy officers.
Lazy officers,
yes. I'm sure you will remember. Yes. He said he challenged the man that he should come and ask him what he's doing with money. That's why the whole thing failed. He called them lazy officers, that they will just go there, take tea. They have nothing to do. And I can assure you, something like this will happen. Job for the boys.
So rather than solving problems, with your analysis, problems have been created. But it will suggest that after all, those that are reading political meanings to all of this, they might be right after all.
It's not impossible. See, I will repeat. For those who think the excesses of the governors is not tolerable, honestly speaking, applaudissez, I agree. It's a mess. Right? The governors have totally destroyed local government. Right? In most of the states, right, they appoint their cronies into position, caretaker committee. What they call election, show me any part of this country where the opposition party have won majority of the local governments after their state government election. Electoral body must have conducted the election. It is a fact, not controvertible, that the state government had this coming. They call for it. But I do not think this is the solution. We must find a way to constitutionally allow the local government to function, but not by annexing it. The way you destroyed education, the way you destroyed, what have they not destroyed?
It's maybe to create loyalty.
That's it now.
We are planning for 2027. Is it loyalty from the
What stopped me now from appointing you to go to each of the local governments and represent me? We know what some governors were doing those days. When election is 2 hours, they have lazy officers, they have special assistants. In some local government, 5. Why? You are there, one, to buy your loyalty, they give you government job. We've seen a place where somebody bought over 100 or so, 200 cars to distribute to the special assistants. Where are those special assistants today? The whole thing, the way we play politics, we've forgotten the fact that there can be tomorrow. Right? You won't die there. Even if you die there, the nation won't die with you.
Okay. Mr. Boguloko, what becomes of the LCDAs in this present arrangement? How will they get funding as it were? On your state, for example, 33 local governments, 35 LCDAs. Somehow before the other, they were getting money. What happens now?
I think an arrangement could be worked out. I'm sure they are not going to leave them in the lurch. But my own angle of viewing this thing is this. this new pronouncement by the Supreme Court has really exposed the weakness of the kind of federal system we are using. It's simple. The president is the headmaster. Is the one doling out funds. And he doles out funds to you state governors. You won't let it reach where it should reach. So it's as simple as that. The money I'm doling out, let it get to the source where it is meant for. And it should not be like that. I keep on saying, that is the crux of the matter. It is because the fund is coming from federal government. And they are saying that it's not getting to local government. So, in a way, for it to get to the local government, no matter how we interpret it, it is to their advantage anyway. But it may not be for the political reason alone, but for the fact, all of us are agreed, at least on this panel now, that the money is not getting to the local government. And people are complaining there are no development, there are no improvement of lives in the local government. But as it is now, the president wants that money to get to the grassroots because he's the one paying the piper. And the governors are not allowed the fund to get to its destination. So the case of the LCDA, I think a modality will have to be worked out because I know President Tinubu knows where he is coming from. And I'm sure people from Lagos will not let him rest unless there is a solution to that. I don't think the LCDA will have problem. They will have to divide, because that was what Tinubu was asking for during Obasanjo regime. He was not asking for any extra fund, but the fund meant for the 20 local, let us distribute it. It's as simple as that.
Send it to us, we know how to distribute.
We know how to do it.
I think that's what they do. Each local government is broken into two. The vice chairman heads the SCDA. Whatever is meant from Abuja for each local government is divided into two. So the SCDA takes one part, the substantive.
That's what we do.
But Dickens, that's one issue. 462 local governments will be deprived of funds. Effective immediately. What do you have to say to that?
Because they don't have
elected
government officials.
What do I have to say to that? All I have to say is it's going to sanitize that. You say they will find a way to accommodate LCDA. I don't see that. You say why? After the governors that created them might have left, I will contest to be local government chairman. Some people are already saying even INEC should be the one conducting election. I hope you've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if INEC swore me in as chairman, right, and you are not telling me that this governor that left, or the one that is even there, is telling me that you have an LCDA somewhere, go and contest.
Oh, you don't recognize that?
No, did he contest?
But the community will not agree with them.
Which community?
No, I'm only the vice, the running mate to the local government chairman. Automatically becomes the head of the LCDA.
All these are aberrations. See, I've told you before that the governors have succeeded in killing local government. And please, let's get to the root of this. Who started this LCDA thing?
Of course, the president.
Why? You want to have an excuse to call the chairman and say this is what belongs to you, this is what belongs to you. Simple. We know this is wrong. Get what I'm saying, please. I'm not saying the present situation is ideal. No. I'm only saying the solution you are trying to profile is going to, in the long run, damage us the more.
Let's look at revenue generation.
Okay.
Some persons are of the opinion that these will now enable local governments, to explore in terms of revenue generation. That some functions that have been taken over by state governments will now be taken back by local government, so they will generate
Ordinarily, annexation of local government revenue started with the federal government. Are you aware that local governments sell vehicle plate number? Are you aware the licensed vehicles? Federal government. Federal government.
They do.
You are aware they do it. Where have you seen local federal government selling plate number in the world? These are the functions of local governments. These are the functions of states. They annex everything. They register marriage. In my village, my daughter want to marry his son. We have nothing to do, even with the state. I'm saying in my village.
So what the federal government is accusing states of, it is also guilty of it?
It's not accusing. They are jealous. What the state is enjoying, they want to have it. Simple.
Now let us have a look at this issue. Urban local governments and rural local governments. The urban local governments have more responsibilities on them, particularly in payment of salaries, teachers and stuff, and the rural local governments have money to spare. How do you reconcile these? Because in urban local government, there may be crises, while in the rural local government, they are just living large like that.
So the rural local governments are richer, than those in the urban areas.
Well, it depends on the way those who occupy the post look at it. Because in the rural local government areas, you have more infrastructural development to take place. You have to take care of roads, take care of water, electricity. But in Nigerian thinking, most of them will wait for the time of allocation, and when they distribute the allocation, they go back to the urban cities. Most of them don't reside in the rural areas anyway. And you were talking about revenue generation the other time. When you don't have money, your urge to look for money to spend will be greater than when you have excess money. When they have allocation from the local government, who is going to look for internally generated revenue? It is going to nosedive. It is not going to improve at all because they have more money to spend now. When in the days of yore, when there's scarcity of funds, the propensity to look for more money will be high, because you want to tell people that you are there. You want to do one project or the other while you are there, and you don't have money. You look for money, but now there is excess money. So how are you going to?
Solving problems in Nigeria seems difficult after all.
You try to solve
create another one.
There is nothing difficult in solving problem, particularly if you are altruistic, particularly if you are genuine in your intentions. What's difficult about it? Why must you be interested in motor park as a state government or as whatever? Why?
Okay.
Everybody knows that motor park is the function of local government. Markets. Why are you interested? And talking about rural area, each and every one of us here, we either belong to one rural community or even another town entirely. Why are you here in Ibadan? Why are people moving to Lagos? There will always be that drift. It's natural. So, a lot of highly populated areas, we have more schools because there are more children there. We need more health facilities. And naturally, we need roads. There are some local governments that the entire population in real time of the entire local government may not be more than a single street in some cities. Do you agree? Now, you will get, because of land mass, because of whatever that they use in calculating, you will get money. If you give an urban center 20 million, and you give a rural center 10 million, you may think you've assisted the urban center. What that man will use 20 million on is sweating. The man with 10 million will simply spend, he only need to spend 1 million. And they will clap for him. Why do I need to tar road to this thing?
To the farms.
To the farms. Why? Why do I need to put health facilities in the bush? Why do I need to build schools in the bush?
Okay. You can be part of us now, talking about local government autonomy and restructuring. This Supreme Court judgment, is it a step towards restructuring, or what do you think about it? 0916 104 7698, 0916 104 7698, 0902 2809257, or 0907 072 0980.
All right, let's start with this. Good morning.
Morning, hello.
Thank you.
On inside. I can go on the line from my phone.
Welcome.
Your guests have said it all. That the state governors have destroyed the local government areas. If you look at it, local government or the rural areas, there are no development over there. I think there is nothing only that successfully without challenges. There must be challenges. We have talked about federalism, it is not working. And we keep on taking for restructuring. If it is a step taking, that would take us to that route. What we actually want, I don't think we complain.
Okay.
Let the challenges be there. If the challenges are there, we will not have strategies to clear them. And if we continue thinking about the challenges again, then we don't go forward, I think we will stand down.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ajanoku from Akum, for your time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Deborah from Ibadan.
Madam Deborah, welcome.
Is there any solution to our problem in Nigeria? Why are we always confused in everything? When Obasanjo was here, she deployed that with the international decree and was this all land allocation. This one is here also. Have the same mistakes. When will we learn? Are we ordained to be making mistakes? Are we a confucianist nation? When will we get it right? All these people who bring their certificate from this American and the British should be stopped from being our president. Let the local people take over this country. They know our problem. They know how to solve the problem.
All right.
We call it a land.
Amen. Thank you so much, Madam Deborah, for your time on the program this morning. Hello, good morning. Thank you so much. Nee from Abuja. Kindly turn down the volume of your TV.
I have done that. I think the problem is as much as it's laudable for what the president, but I think it's more of political game. I think some of the government you can see and the senator what they are doing to render the country try to define the current president of the next coming 2027. And I think it's a strategy that federal government wants to control local government from the headquarters. And you use that one as an opportunity to align the government. I think that's the problem. But they are solving the problem.
Your name?
The name again. Oh, he's gone. Okay, Nee there. Let's move on. Hello, good morning. Nee, thank you.
This is Anthony Abela.
Anthony, welcome.
When Stanley, you raised this topic yesterday, I the big issue or day before. I personally said, I don't take it. This autonomy to local government, whatever. This is not the right thing. If you could remember, I said to me, I don't see any big deal about it. This is not exactly the type of restructuring we are demanding for.
Okay.
this country. But some God has said, let's start somewhere. Let's start somewhere. Let us see how we go.
Okay, Mr. Anthony.
I know that's the wrong approach. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Thank you. Bayo, welcome.
Yeah, so I thought it came to the extreme. I don't think it's going to take us anywhere. It's just a financial autonomy. I think we should be more focused on giving local government full autonomy, whereby they want people now to look at government's face before they perform, before they do the needful. So, but with this young financial, they're not going to go anywhere because this local government will still take order, permission from state government even before they spend this money. That's fine. So, I also want to ask one of your analysts said it. If even our state, as it is considered now, I say today we don't have full autonomy. If I just take as an example now, we have a lot of minimal resources that Oyo State cannot even touch, that the federal government is not even exploring, that should have even give us more money here. If anyone is, if any additional mineral resources is covered tomorrow,
Okay.
Okay.
the government won't, they dare not go there. So I think it is time this country fully restructured in a way that state local governments will have their full autonomy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Bayo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I am Private Shitu calling from Ijebu.
Welcome.
I want to appeal to panel of discussants from my big brother there, the CEO of IBM, and our wonderful guest there, that I don't want us to lose focus. Now, the mission of the debate group is to make it possible for us to have a new Nigeria. We have all come together and said the new Nigeria is possible. And we have agreed that it starts with me and you. So definitely, discussing as if we are still afraid of Shagari era, that era is not part of our mission. I want us to suggest how it can only work. We have been doing that from the past. I want us to remain on that track. Suggesting how the local government will survive, and then suggesting how the NCDs will work, which will have impact a bit, but I don't want us to go back to that fear that we cannot make it. A new Nigeria is a must, and we must attain it. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Primate. Hello, good morning. Welcome.
And let's allow this to work. We have local government that is not working, that is not functioning. Now, they have granted them autonomous, financial. Let the people now deal with the chairman, not the governors again. Even where the governor is under the local government. So governor is under the local government. Let the local government work. Because if you go to our local secretariat, I know you will cry. If you say other place is. So let it work. Let us start from somewhere.
All right.
Let's be united for one thing. Our problem is that we are more divided. We don't even know what we want.
Okay.
That is the number one problem. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Korafo. In the last caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Bola from Ido.
Bala from Ido, welcome.
The problem we have is we are too sentimental in whatever we are doing. Let's find a country that will have an institutional-based country. A lot of things we do it with sentiment. Somebody get to government, he does this. When he left, another person comes, they change it. We cannot move forward with this kind of system. Let's have our institution that will be going to be based on what our constitution says. If there's a need for us to rewrite the constitution, let's rewrite it. Let's leave this constitution that the military wrote for us. Let's sit down as a people. Let's gather as a people. Let's pick people from different parts of this country. Give us another constitution, and nobody, no governor, no president should be able to change whatever that is in the constitution. Good morning.
Thank you, Bola from Ido. The calls are coming in. Do we risk one more? Okay. One more. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Kindly turn down the volume of that TV, please.
And in 30 seconds, please.
All right. Good morning.
Thank you.
Remy is my name from the Abuja.
Remy from Abuja, welcome.
Yeah. I just want to, make a contribution to what, the topic we are trying to
Please go ahead.
discuss here. You see, as a nation, I heard both analysts trying to condemn the act of giving local government autonomy. But that should not be the point. The point is, people are complaining about local area not being developed. And today somebody said, okay, let's give them a face. Let's give them a voice. And we are still condemning it. What exactly do we want in this country? What exactly? We're supposed to provide a solution to whatever problem we are having now. Not to condemn. I see the man have not suggested anything as a positive solution to what is on ground. So what exactly is he saying?
All right.
Don't let us lose focus because of one simple thing. Let's move Nigeria forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Remy from Abuja. Our time is indeed fast spent. Femi, from me, I think it's going to be a very good morning because our time is fast spent. We have just less than 1 minute to go. Next week is another time.
Thank you so much, Anu. I guess we'll still take this issue next week because people are saying we've not preferred solutions. So next week we'll still talk about local government autonomy and restructuring. And Dikinowola Bioladejo, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Laula Abulu, thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you.
coming. My name is Adefemi Makpadero. I thank our backroom staff, Dr. Lalude, Fuji Adeyeka, Godwin,
Shemulu,
and all of you there for doing a wonderful job this morning. I'll see you next week, God willing. Please remember, as a people, as a nation, we still have very many rivers to cross. Good morning.